Left, your left, hey. Left, right, your left. You got it.
Truck it off.
Doctors, roll out. You're watching or listening to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. We the people, the People's Patriot Project.
Looking for a place to put your skill set, your thoughts, and ideas, or want to help continue the mission? You have come to the right place. We are the People's Patriot Project, and we are the shock and awe when it comes to meeting the needs of our veterans and first responders. We are dealing with a new enemy in today's world where the wounds are not always seen. We want you to be a part of this mission in saving lives and making a difference. Welcome to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. Here's the WeP3 Team bringing you today's best heroes hits in the boots on the ground organizations that are saving lives. And as always, Patriot Pride.
Left, your left, hey. Left, right, your left. You got it.
Truck it off.
Hey there, people.
Hey.
Good evening. This is Andrea. I'm here with People's Patriot Project. Does it sound okay? Oh, sorry, that was weird. All right, we're here with the People's Patriot Project tonight. It is June 19th, 2022. We're going to bring you our weekly show / podcast that we call We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. Each week, we bring you a guest and many times a brand new musician. We share all the good and sometimes not so good things that are happening in our world. Tonight's show promises to be an evening of fun and amazing discussion. We will have Dan Hudson and musician Waylon McMullan tonight. But first, I'm going to ask that you take off your hat and stand if you can and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. And there we go.
All right, we do have a little feedback on one of us, and I think it might be Waylon. If you can exit and come back in, brother, I think that'll fix this problem.
Okay, I can also try flipping over to my phone real quick if that would work.
Sure.
Okay, let's try that.
Yep.
He sounds good, but it's feeding back, isn't it? That was
yeah.
weird. I thought
think
it
it
was
is the
my.
pieces there.
Sometimes my computer does crap like that, so I thought maybe that was it. But well, let me just wow, let me just find my notes for 1 second because there's something we got to talk about tonight. And that is Happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. That's those who have proactively assumed the role of nurturing and nurturing their children to be a positive and proactive part of this world. First of all, we want to thank those fathers that had a higher sense of duty when duty called. Thank you to those fathers out there that are deployed, those who are serving in our military and serving as first responders. And thank you to those fathers who instilled in their children the values of service. And because of that, they are missing their children as they are out there deployed or serving our military and maybe working as a first responder on this Father's holiday. Our hearts go out to those Gold Star fathers that have lost a child due to their service while on duty or post duty. And then to all the rest of you, may you have a wonderful Father's Day.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And that goes out to all those that actually even take on some extended duties, whether it's some of those mothers that are taking on dual roles as mother and father and trying to figure out that role. It's some of those. Me and Dan were having a great conversation pre-show, in the fact that our family has adopted the entire Pfister group out of Fort Riley, who came up through Stephen's service, and we extend kind of those parental pieces, guidance. I don't know. Go reach in the cooler
Just
for a cold
family
one
love.
opportunities. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the opportunity to wine and dine them when we get down there to see them and let them know that we care. And so, thanks, fathers. And that's weird for me to say that because I got a question and I actually was probing Dan a little bit, and maybe this happens to mothers too. When your children reach the age of consumption, aka 21, 20, whatever, do they think, how many of your children think that it's important to keep the father under the drink for the majority of the day? Because I think that was the goal for my children today, was like, can we keep dad drinking from breakfast until showtime? I did take a break. There was a time where I said, you know what, guys, there's a show tonight. I do have some new flavors sitting here next to me, but that was our old show, What's in Your Cup. But there's a couple of things here that, Waylon, are you a father, brother?
I am. I've got 3 kids.
Well, thank you for not only your service, but your service as a father and what you've done. Dan is a shared father, and thank you for the role model you are, Dan, and the extra pieces that those who have served have instilled in their children. It's just greatly appreciated. And those kids are different. So we appreciate it. Brian Gibson, thank you for your compliments. Thank you for Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to you as well. Project Die Hard out of Illinois, Makanda, Illinois, Paducah, Kansas, sharing the 2-state transition there. But and they have an event coming this at the end of July, Hope Stock, and check into Project Die Hard and their mission and what they're doing. So.
For sure. They've got a list of volunteers, donors, sponsors, and I believe Brian's got that on multiple of his sites on Facebook. So check that out. See if there's a place for you to fit in. I think we're still on the. I think if gas goes below $4, it's not a question. I don't know what we're gonna do yet.
We're there. Yeah, we're working on it. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us this weekend. It's good to have both of you.
Hey, thank you. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you. So we have Dan Hudson with us with Operation Check 6, and he's been in the network for a short stay, but has moved mountains since he's joined the network, and we just greatly appreciate Dan and his effort. And and kind of the behind the scenes work that he's doing. We're going to hear more about Check 6 here in a minute. And then we got Waylon McMullan, sorry. Came to us. Now, Jen Ford recommended you. What an amazing. Do you know Jen?
Yeah.
What? I don't have enough positive things to say about Jen. She's one of the hardest people in the industry, and we love when she brings us new people, and we're excited to have you here, brother. Do you have positive things to say about Jen?
She is one of the most genuine people I have ever had the honor to meet.
This might be a bit personal, but have you ever fallen asleep in front of Jen Ford?
No.
Don't do it. She will make a TikTok, maybe about you, and spread it for the world to see. And that's evidence is out there for me.
I have fallen asleep on a TikTok live before this, but thankfully I had the 3 boxes and I was over to the side, and they did everything that they could to wake me up. And the only thing that woke me was they finally played a crying baby, and I jerked up, turned my live off, and then just sat there going, what? So I guess tell me you're a dad without telling me you're a dad.
Yeah. Fair enough. And you did it. So, Brian, gosh, this is a humbling piece because Brian has gone the extra steps out there to create a GoFundMe. And we greatly appreciate it. We'll try to get this thing done on our own, but we would love to join him for Hope Stock down in Paducah. Makanda.
Yep.
And we'd love to be there. And it's a good time, a great mission. And we appreciate everything done. Robert, always a pleasure to have you here, brother. Happy Father's Day. Awesome. Well, Dan, you got something called Operation Check 6.
I do. I don't know what I got myself into, but I'm glad you guys reached out. No, I'm kidding. It was actually a brainstorm of my wife, and it's nothing new. Honestly, we're not reinventing a wheel here, but we've been around the music industry for some time locally, and there's just so much local talent, and working with the local VA and their mental health unit. One of the most effective therapies most recently has been a writing therapy. And those who are doing so well in this writing therapy had these incredible stories, some of trauma, some of just experience. It's like, hey, let's take this to a level where we can take something so ugly and try and make something beautiful out of it. Let's take these stories. We'll get tapped into our local music genre, and we'll see if we can't pair some of these vets up if they want, and we'll make some music out of these stories. And that's how it all began. And I had aspirations of art and all this other stuff, and music just seems to dominate this organization. And honestly, the poetry, it's just touching, and we've had such great local support. So I'm very blessed. We're very grateful.
And you're located in Minnesota, is that correct?
I am right up by the Detroit Lakes area. It's very busy around here this time of year.
Oh, I bet.
Well, and I ask that like I don't know where you're at, but it's
yes, you do.
It's the interview process.
We're good. We're good.
Yeah, and if you haven't been in Minnesota, Detroit Lakes is kind of on the northwest side of the state, and it's a very vacation-y lake type of piece. And Detroit Lakes is also home of something that we call We Fest out here in Minnesota, which is one of the largest country music event pieces out there, and not necessarily a piece of anything we need to talk about, but just giving some references to where we're at and what they're doing. So you take poetry, that's the main mission, and you partnered up with musicians. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, it can be any writing, and even right before the show, before our pre-show conversation, I had received a poem from the veteran that sent us our first piece, and she's written another one, and she had sent it to me before, and she goes, "I think it's time that we take a look at this again," and she's not wrong. And that first piece she sent me, we're both on the advisory board for it's called the Warriors in the North up here, and they promote art. They do the mask making for therapy and things like that. Well, we incorporated music into it. And when I approached Warriors in the North with the idea, I was sitting there and I get a text message from across the table from her. And I read this poem because I wasn't really paying attention to what everybody else was doing. And it was like, it hit me in the gut. I was like, oh my God. And it took me aback because I've been in law enforcement for 27 years and I've been to several sexual assaults and horrible things. But this was my friend, and she sent me a poem talking about a very personal experience to her. And the situation was it lined up. We arranged it together into like a very rough musical score. And we got connected with Alyssa Ruffin, who took this and made it a song. And we didn't realize what was going to happen that year, but the song ends up getting produced. And then it got nominated for a Josie, an Independent Single of the Year. And that was #1 for us. And it's like, what a roller coaster year for song #1. So some of the vets that have come in there now are expecting that every time, and we have to kind of pull the reins back just a little bit. But what a great journey, and what a terrific performance by Alyssa. And she's so talented and gifted and giving. She's a Mission 22 ambassador. Her husband's a captain in Space Force, and they're just all about giving back, and they're just terrific people and a terrific family. And here I am, this guy, and the song was about sexual assault, and here I am in the middle of this chain of incredible, strong and courageous women all telling their stories, and here I am in the middle with my mouth shut because I'm really now seeing a completely different side of this. Other than going from call to call, I'm experiencing this to some degree, and the respect that I have and the drive that I have, that's really one of the main drives I have now. It's like I think back to that and like, man, they lived through hell and they gave me such a gift and opened my eyes.
What a blessing. No, this is, and I don't want to delineate from this because I want to get back to the subject matter because it's actually bigger than people think it is. If you haven't been in the military roles, and sadly, unfortunately, I think if you have been in the military world, I think you've actually seen it happen, and either you turned a blind eye to it, or you allowed it to happen, or you just brushed over or swept it under the carpet. And that's it's embarrassing, it's sad, but I want to kind of, so we met Dan. Actually, and it's weird because we're a Minnesota organization. He's a Minnesota organization, but we actually met him through another new, we'll call her an artist, an influencer, Sugar Rose, who has a show on our platform every Monday at 7:00. If you get the chance, tune into that. Sugar Rose is an amazing heart, an amazing person, and has a story and a mission as well. And we love having Sugar Rose around. And she said, well, I want you to meet Dan. Well, it's really weird because I'm like, well, why don't we know Dan already? Because we're from Minnesota. And
my fault, probably.
No, well, it's really weird. When we built the People's Patriot Project, we actually had a marketing expert come to us and say, well, why would you want to get into the saturated field? And I'm like, stop your nonsense. We know that there's a branded number of 22 lost every day, and we actually go with 17 to 75 because statistically those are the numbers too. It's pretty broad when you look at 75, but that's what we use. And every once in a while we'll ride the coattails of the 22, and we'll hear people say, well, it got to 21. I'm like, stop your talking. Andrea's pretty aggressive about this too. She just mows them over and just moves past. And but it was, and I lost my state of mind for a moment, so it may not come back, but it might. Anyway, it's important to connect. And I didn't realize how many organizations really were out there. But then our mission kind of changed a little bit. And our mission changed to cut the fluff. because we have a lot of veterans and first responders that get to a point where they're in crisis and they don't know where to reach. They're not going to call the crisis hotline. We promote it. We put it out there. If that is a source that you're willing to partake in, call the suicide hotline, the crisis hotline. Those are proactive opportunities for you. But I know our police and first responders, for the most part, aren't going to call that number because they don't want the stigma. They don't want the connection. They don't want those pieces. So reach out to the People's Patriot Project and anyone on here. I'm rambling and getting to a point. There's a lot of us out there. And I say that so veterans and first responders understand we can cover you. We got your back. We got your 6, not only at 6, but all the time. But tonight we're doing Patriot Playtime at 6 o'clock. There are resources to take care of you. I had a veteran reach out to me this weekend, issues with housing, getting evicted. And right now the People's Patriot Project can't assist him in that. But I knew the next organization to get hold of. We do a direct call, say, hey, this is what we got. You guys taken care of for the most part. We got to jump through some hoops yet, but we'll get those pieces figured out. So Sugar Rose brings us Dan. Dan has been an amazing influence on me already and has just shared an amazing heart in where his drive and passion is going. And we can see where plugging him into some of our other artists and into our other missions is going to be beneficial. And we've asked Dan, would you like to be part of that? And so far, he said yes. Maybe if he hangs around a little longer, he'll say, like he said from the beginning, what the hell have I got myself into? And that's okay. Last night he assured me he's not a short stayer. So
hey, I'm not a 3-monther, man. You marry me, you're in it.
There's a few more of us that you need to meet yet. I'm feeling your commitment, but just hang on.
Well, and amazing is he just brought up another name, Alyssa Ruffin, who is a musician out there in the world, and we've seen some of her clips. Well, we've already got her booked for July 17th, and she's going to be coming on and sharing her talent, and we'll see the stuff that she said. And this Josie Awards thing keeps popping up, and we have so many of our veteran, and I can't say first responder yet. I don't know a first responder yet in our network that has made it, but we've got like 8 of our veterans nominated for parts of the Josie experience. And so October 20th through the 25th, the event is on the 23rd, the actual show, and we are part of JMA, which is the 22nd. The People's Patriot Project will be down in Nashville to be part of the Josie Awards at the Grand Ole Opry. And we're just amazingly ecstatic about that opportunity. And one of our dearest, Tony Turner, is up for Male Vocalist of the Year. Outlaw, I always say it wrong, but it's the Outlaw
Vocalist,
yeah. I mess it up every time. But Travis Partington, good to see you, brother. Oscar Mike Radio, always great to see you. And just the network, this is family. It's family. Brian Gibson, way to go, team. Thank you, sir. It's because we all get to do it together, and that's just awesome. Dan, don't go away. We're going to talk more. We'll grow more. We'll have family dinner more.
I like that.
Me and Andrew are planning a trip out to see you.
Perfect.
But let's pull Waylon into this conversation. Well, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. I
Good.
won't lie. Before I came on here, I was completely nervous. I've only done 2 radio interviews before, and for some reason, I can get up and perform in front of people, but radio shows just make me, I don't know, nervous.
Well, I'm going to tell you one of the greatest compliments that we've gotten, and we got this originally from Chris Turner, who's a national musician. He said, when I came on your show, it felt like I was with family immediately. And that's a pretty huge accolade I have covering, but I hope you're getting the same feeling, and I hope that this is something you see a value. So
yeah, you guys definitely put me at ease with that. Like, it's not a rapid fire question like some of the others.
Oh, we haven't got to that point yet. But we're ready. Here they come.
There's a lot of time left here.
Well, Dan, you say there's a lot of time yet, and this is what's crazy. We have such a great time and have such awesome conversation. We're already halfway done. And we just started. I don't know how the news pulls off the news with like 8 commercial breaks and they still get the news out, because we haven't even put a commercial break out there yet, and we're halfway done, and we'll get there.
So I actually know why that is. It's because they have so little to say, but they have pretend that they have a lot to say.
Yes. Because then they can make up what they don't have to say.
Yes,
oh my
exactly.
gosh.
Those breaks are where they're trying to figure out what to say next.
You're right. Here's a railroad crossing being built in Omaha for the corn. I don't know what. Yeah, right.
For the corn.
Let's not talk about newsworthy subjects right now. We got people falling off of bikes and all kinds of craziness. And Waylon, where are you calling in from, brother?
Corpus Christi, Texas.
Oh heck yeah!
Oh heck yeah! I from what I understand, I think there's a trip that Miss Ford is planning on going down to Corpus Christi later this summer.
I think for a minute, and then to Padre.
Oh, okay, all right. Well,
I'm not sure if they. I think they tie together, but I'm not sure.
I think Miss Eichmann is working out some plans to be on part of that trip too. So
I kind of like Padre. Yeah.
What's the weather like down there? Is it a little brisk?
So it was 91 today.
We beat you. 90.
But our humidity makes it worse.
See, and I'm going to say the South Texas humidity is different than humidity in Minnesota, because when I'm in Houston, I absolutely can't stand it. I would rather crawl into someone's armpit than to hang out in
gross.
Houston.
That's
and
it was like a wall. That was like a wall. I remember, like you open the door and the air conditioning goes like 10 feet out, and then the wall hits. So you're like, oh, it's not so bad out here. And then 2 more steps, and you're like, good God, what is it? It's here.
Well,
yeah.
You drive the streets of Houston, and like there's no people on the streets anywhere. And I'm like, are we in a ghost town? And you don't realize in Houston, everything's underground. You're walking through.
In the part where we were, there's all those tunnels.
It's all underground. And it's like, where are the people? There's no one here.
They're smarter than that. That's the thing.
So tell us about your service. What branch of service in? How long did you serve?
So I was briefly in the Army National Guard. And then I went into the Navy some years later. I was actually medically discharged from the Navy. And so I decided I wasn't done with the military yet. I didn't feel like I'd done the extent. I wasn't ready. So I actually joined the Texas State Guard and served. So on and off from 2003 to 2017.
Wow.
Very nice.
So it was kind of, if you slap all of them together, it's very intermittent, but
sure.
I was always around volunteering my time and everything. I never could get the military out of my blood until I finally decided to step away, and I'm a marine biologist now.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh.
Cool. I legitimately work with shark genetics. No, not like deep blue sea. I'm not mutating sharks or anything like that. I'm trying to find out if they're mutating ahead of time. And I always tell everyone, if I was going to do something scientific like that, I'd rather create a Sharknado because that just looks cooler.
So do you get to like go into like shark cages and go hang out with sharks and stuff?
So I actually don't use cages. I actually dive with them and study the ecology and everything. Whenever we're doing the genetic sampling, we'll use long lines, gill nets and things like that to bring them up, do fin clippings and everything, and then put them back in the water as quickly as we can. We actually just helped the Texas State Aquarium acquire a bonnet head hammerhead shark I love Sharknado. Yes, they need more Sharknado movies. Just saying. But we actually just helped them acquire their first bonnet head hammerhead shark.
Hammerhead.
So the bonnet head, it's not extended. It looks more like a shovel head.
All right.
Interesting.
This is probably one of the most intriguing of all of like post deployment, post enlistment jobs that we've had. But the reason why we celebrate our musicians that have served is because we think that they've done a little extra before they put into the music world, and you're doing more. And then we get these amazing gifts and little trinkets of life lessons and from those. I mean, you didn't get to go to the school of Juilliard and spend all your snotty nose years learning music. You went and cut your teeth in real life stuff, and then you gave a shot at it. And we greatly appreciate it, and that's why we honor our veteran musicians, because you have amazing stories, and not every musician that comes on has a crisis type song. I know you've got I've Got Your Six and the two other songs we're featuring tonight, but some of our military musicians or veteran musicians just are musicians, and they have some amazing. Jen Ford, my goodness, her song list and her set list is just amazing, and how hard she works in the industry, and we just love promoting her. And our list goes way deeper than that, but that's our common denominator here. And so, well, let's run one of yours. We've got 3 songs up for you right now. Is there one that you prefer?
So if we want to go in the order that I wrote them, Not Ready to Go was my first one. And that actually, so the majority of my songs tie into the time that I was medically discharged. And so the day that I was medically discharged, I called home and found out that my uncle, who was the closest thing that I had to a dad, that he died that same day. So it was a horrid day for me.
Sure.
And so whenever I got home, I sat down and I wrote Not Ready to Go.
All right. We got Waylon McMullan with Not Ready to Go.
We all gathered round that hospital bed, knowing goodbyes had to be said. We were crying tears when he opened his eyes. In them there seemed to be no more fight. But then we heard him say, I'm not ready to go, so much left to do. So dry your eyes today, I refuse, I'm not ready to go. We all stood there shocked and amazed, none of us knowing what to say, not daring to speak, afraid it was a dream. Those words that he said, I'm not ready to go, so much left to do. So dry your eyes today, I refuse, I'm not ready to go. Day after day, we watched that fight. He got weaker every single night, till the moment that we knew it was time, when he would gain his wings and take flight. And when he did, I whispered, I'm not ready for you to go. So much left for us to do. I can't dry my eyes, can't say goodbye. I'm not ready for you to go. I'm not ready for you to go, 'cause I'm gonna miss you.
Yeah, and Tammy doesn't help us here. Great song, great message, and really close and dear. One of the People's Patriot Project staff, Tammy, love her to death, just lost her mother a couple weeks ago, and not ready to let her go either. And our hearts are with you, Tammy. And yeah,
I just have to jump in here. That it is so refreshing to hear this music that, I guess, for lack of a better term, it's such a storytelling song, and it's so raw, pure, and honest. It's like Waylon McMullan meets Bob Dylan almost, and I don't. It is such a cool voice, and it's just smooth. I love it.
Thank you. I actually prefer most of the songs that I write to be real life, because I mean, anyone can write a song about someone's dog dying, their wife leaving, and the truck abandoning them. I mean, real life is what we connect to, and I am trying to get more into music that I call road trip music, like the stuff that you jam out to on the road trip. What I've written so far, it's not road trip music. It's thought provoking. It's raw. It's me. But I'm in the process of trying to find where the two meld into who I'm going to be as an artist.
I really like that.
Yeah.
Normally, after show, we do a collaboration piece and talk about where ideas are born. We try to be a catalyst of opportunity, and I'm thinking of some brothers up north, Jack Yoder and Chris Moreau, who are both veteran musicians. One's from, I'm not really sure where Jack's from. He travels everywhere, but one of the amazing things we did this last year, and Jen Ford was part of it, is we brought, originally planned to have 6 musicians come to Minnesota, and we put them up in an Airbnb, and we let them singer-songwrite the whole weekend. And then they went and they did a song 10 minutes off the airplane, or not a song, they did a show 10 minutes off the airplane, all 5 of them in Minnesota weather, and they're mostly all Texans. Minnesota weather, it was a blustery 57 degrees. I'm pretty sure that's how.
It's cold.
But the growth and just the opportunity of spinning. Now, Jen Ford's down in Texas doing tours with Dom Kurz and BJ Leggett, who we had brought up in that touring. So, again, not here to step on your toes or steal your baby, but I had this flash in my head, the road trip tour, and just get some dudes and dudettes on the same place, same time, and just go and enjoy life and play some music. And I don't know if you're a beverage consumer, but have a couple cocktails along the way and just enjoy life. I get really excited about that stuff, but that's off the subject. And it was a touching song, only in the fact, like Dan said, it's absolutely raw. It's original. It is from the heart. And I'm sorry for your loss. I mean, I know that's what created that opportunity, and unfortunately that loss created the opportunity, and we get the gift of your craft at that point. And
can I ask Waylon a question?
Absolutely.
What did that song do for you when you completed it, or what was your journey in that song?
It was literally me. So So the thing most people don't know about me is I started life eating out of a dumpster. And then I grew up in foster care, and it wasn't a good foster care. Like, they had motion sensors on the floor and everything else. So to me, I wasn't allowed to express my emotions. So I'd write them down. And in order to be able to talk about them, I'd write them down and I'd put it away. And so to me, it was my outlet. It was how I was able to come to terms with the fact that this man who had been post foster care such a monumental part of my life. Like, we went fishing overnight 3 to 4 times a week. Like, he stepped in and was that role model that I needed coming out. And to lose him, it was all I knew to do was to sit and just write. And I put it away. It wasn't until January of this year that I started putting my music out or anything. And so I was looking for something on an old laptop, and it came up. And I opened it, and all I thought was, I'm supposed to be writing a song for my very first one. That this has to be it.
For sure. Yeah.
That's
awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've done the foster care thing as the foster parent. I've worked with adjudicated delinquents. Not that was where you were at in life, and I am always just blown away by the stories that we hear or I hear. I just don't get these pieces, and I know it might seem odd to make this statement. It might be a piece that I don't know where you sit with family right now. I mean, but I'm hoping that, and again, this is another piece at the People's Patriot Project. I don't know if that sounds like a militant group. I know some people might argue that fact, but we are family, and we invite you into our world, and we invite you to be part of what's going on here. And I'm excited to see the growth and where this family can go and what we can do together. And I can't apologize. I want to say sorry for the stuff you've been through in life, but I feel like you're managing that through A, your music, and B, you're getting on with yourself. We're here for you, brother, just so you know.
I can honestly say, if I could go back and change anything, I honestly wouldn't, because I wouldn't be the person that I am today without those things having happened. Because now I'm more empathetic towards situations of others. I'm able to speak at foster parent conventions. I'm able to use everything bad that happened and turn it into good for someone else. And so I live by the mantra: if I can change one person's life a day, if I die that night, I can die a happy person.
You're a blessing, brother. You're a blessing. That's what you are.
That is. So as a language arts teacher, I've taken so many writing classes, and part of me thinks, these pop country people that I appreciate, but not a lot of people seem to love them. The writing that comes from tragedy, loss, hardship, and then exuberant joy. When a child is born, when you win an award, right? Those are the moments that make the music. You can write a story about anything all day long, but a lot of writing coaches that I visited with are like, you know what? Quit your job and go live in your car for a year. Go stay in a neighborhood you wouldn't even deem fit for, the strongest of people. And that's where it comes from. And you came through that quite naturally. Kudos to you. And that's the stuff that will make the music. That'll make all the writing come together.
Well, and the great pieces are, for some reason, you establish the tools you need to have. Not everyone, and there are a lot of foster kids out there. There are a lot of kids that don't have the tools, and the knockdown is just another knockdown, and there's never a chance for them to get back up. And so Not we'd love to advocate. There's a second level to the People's Patriot Project, and we're taking care of our veterans and first responders first, and then we get into the taking, nurturing, and caring of children as well. And we'll get there. Let us get this thing built up, and we'll get our kids taken care of. But it's actually kind of a segue back to the piece Dan was talking about with some of the sufferings our female and the veteran and first responder world. And I'm not here to take and knock away the women piece, but one of the things I'm absolutely blown away. First of all, there's an acronym and a phrase and statement for the veteran world of military sexual trauma. And a gigantic part of that is the trauma that happens to males as well. And that part blows me away, and I don't get it, and I don't understand it, and it's not in my makeup to understand those pieces. It's why my first degree was in psychology, and I had to get out of it because tell people to cowboy the F up was not probably a good practical way of practicing. So, but there's a lot of people that get a heavy basket of crap that they have to carry around, and I don't get it. And so these are, and again, I know Alyssa is going to share the story when she comes on, and the opportunity of poetry and songwriting and getting the word out. But what this is for everyone to understand is it's an opportunity to share your story. Now, if you are a person that thinks that just going to social media and throwing your stuff out there constantly is going to get you a healing, I'm going to tell you right now, you might run into a little problem. You got to find a way to constructively do that and find a way to get a nurturing in that. If you're throwing your stuff out there for the entire world to read, I promise you the trolls and the rest of the world that feeds off that stuff isn't going to help you. And again, zero attacks here, but I've seen it. I've seen both brothers and sisters throw their stuff out there. And I also tell you that you might get a phone call or a message from me saying, how can we help you? And anyone else from my team, because that's what we do. And so we're always on the lookout for those that are in need. We're always on the lookout for those that might just need a helping hand and a push along or a pull along. And that's, again, Dan, tell us what's next with Operation Check 6.
Hey, we continue to do our local songwriting stuff. Looking forward to working with y'all, because I mean, it's such a blessing for y'all to reach out, and it's just crazy how stars kind of align, and it's about connections. And we've talked about this before too, the connections that are sometimes beyond our control in a good way. And I love the analogy that you used about putting your stuff out on social media. It's terrifying. And the way I view it, and I'm glad you brought it up, is those are indicators for help, and to be able to reach out to those folks. So what we would like to do, my big goals, I always have big plans. We want to go mobile. One thing we've learned with first responders, and you alluded, and military heroes, is they aren't typically going to come to us. We have to go to them, and whether it be something physical like in a veteran's home. So we would like to build a little mobile studio so we can travel locally and go to these places and do these things, give them an opportunity, give them a guitar for a day, give it to them forever, whatever changes their lives, and show them a couple chords and just give them something different for that day, and allow them to express themselves and maybe let go of some of this trauma or what's been bugging them maybe for decades.
There's a great point in that, Dan. And one of the things that we've come to find out is a lot of the trauma our veterans and first responders suffer from is the stuff that existed prior to service. And it just ends up being a compounded piece. And the first point the finger is it was service that got me where I'm at. And then you end up having the conversation, okay, service has happened. Okay, what happened before? And it's not a piece to say or to minimize. It's just a piece to say let's find a way to recalibrate those thoughts. We're not fixers. Me and our team have decided we're not going to fix anybody. We are going to help with building relationships, and we are going to make sure that we're creating experiences that recalibrate that thought piece. And when people have the chance to let go of that stuff, they'll have the opportunity to do that. But the part is they hold on to that crap because they get buried in with everything else that they're dealing with, and there's not one thing that's helping lighten their load. And that's what we try to come in and do, is find one thing that we can help to lighten the load. And maybe lighten the load is to be able to strum on a guitar and or write their words down for a song, for a musician to sing for them. Or, yeah, it's, again, and this has been just a magical creation and opportunity of us getting together, Dan. And I'm really excited to see what happens with Waylon here as well.
Me too, man. He talk about talent. You're amazing. I've been listening to your stuff for a couple of days now, Waylon, and it's just like I feel like I'm walking right alongside you most of the time through your music. And one of the things you asked, what's in the future for us? We have so much material right now, and a clock is right twice a day, right? And there's more collaboration going on now. So every now and then you'll hit that one, a singer-songwriter will, but it seems like everyone's collaborating this day and age. And maybe what you start with isn't what you end with, but I think that's success.
I love it. And we're going to continue this conversation. One of our staff has just posted the link. If you like what you're hearing and you appreciate what's happening, we have stars now on WeP3. And I'm not 100% confident, but I think it's on the People's Patriot Project page. We're still trying to get WeP3 Radio over, and we're still trying to get We Got Your 6 at 6 over. But if you see the stars and you like it and you hit it, that does help support what we're doing with veterans and first responders, and it helps us take care of those that reach out to us for help. Waylon, what's up next? What's your next song?
So Walls would be next. And actually, just a shameless little self-plug, I will actually be performing these and a few new ones in Katy, Texas on July 8th at the I Got Your 6 event.
Very cool.
Let's get those notes. Can you put those in real quick, Andrea? Just so.
Did you say August? What is the date on it?
July 8th and 9th over in Katy, Texas. It's the I Got Your 6 event. I'll actually be opening up for the band Steel, which is not nerve-wracking at all.
No, not at all. You. That's awesome.
Well, you'll end up still in the show, and then someone's going to have to open to you for you.
I'd be fine with that. So Walls is the next one, and it actually I wrote it because whenever we get hurt, it doesn't matter how you're hurt. We all put up walls, and we all say the same thing. Well, whoever comes along next is going to have to get past these walls, but we try to hold them up. And I actually, it's just one of those deals where, you may not even have the walls knocked down, and that person may slip right past all the walls and you not even know what's going on. I tell my girlfriend that a lot, that I asked her how she managed to do that, and she said magic. So I looked at her and said, a black magic woman.
Oh, there it is.
But
we got Waylon McMullan with Walls.
You got walls, I'll knock them down. Promise to keep you safe and sound. You've been hurt a time or two. I'll prove my heart in love is true. We've all been there, and we all know it's little scars that don't show. The ones that cut the most deep but your trust I will keep. But the memories of the past, they hurt so bad. Girl, put on that smile, don't be sad. 'Cause I'm here to stay, I'm not running now. I'll be here waiting when your walls come down. As the tears run down your cheek, I sit and wait, week after week, praying so hard, it's not too late. I hope your past you can't escape. But the memories of the past, they hurt so bad. Girl, put on that smile, don't be sad. 'Cause I'm here to stay, I'm not running now. I'll be here waiting when your walls come down. But the memories that you keep, they hurt so bad. Girl, put on that smile, don't be sad. 'Cause I'm here to stay, I'm not running now. I'll be here to hold you when your walls come down. I'll be here to hold you when your walls come down. I'll be here to hold you when your walls come down.
You guys can talk if you want. It's taking me a second here to.
I was wondering what you had going on. That was very good. I'm sorry, I found myself singing along already at the end of that.
So I'm actually switching that up a little bit next time I get into the studio. I'm actually having a female vocalist join me, and we're going to change the last half into a female singing. That way it goes the guy singing to the girl and then the girl singing to the guy.
I like that.
Yeah.
And I was thinking during the whole time, we have something called the graphene dome we're developing right now. And it's kind of funny how you said you couldn't figure out how your girlfriend got around that wall, but that's called infiltration. It's called letting your guard down, and it's called not seeing the gap in your I can't think of the technical thing right now, but and we do that. We let our guard down, and boom, the people we care about all of a sudden are there. And I was thinking theme song for Graphene Dome is, that wall. It doesn't need to come down. People will figure it out. They'll find the chink in the armor, and we'll get you taken care of. And no, I love the song though. It was, and again, another great message. That singer songwriter. I almost wish you were doing these live for us tonight, because then we get to get the real robustness of the song from you. But that's okay.
All right, so I'll tell you this. You'll get a sneak peek really quick of something that I'm going to be in the studio hopefully soon. Being a singer songwriter, it does get difficult to get into being grassroots, to get into the studio as much as I'd like to, because being a dad and everything, all that adds up. But anyways, so I've got a question for y'all.
Yeah.
Whenever you care for someone and they say, "I love you," what do you say back?
I want to let you guys answer this, because I have a weird thing on the love thing.
Wow. I mean, I'm kind of old. I probably say I love you right back, I suppose.
Okay.
Actually, watch. I have it right here. I got I love you more. That's my thing.
I love you more.
Yeah.
I like.
What do you say, Dan?
I say I know. No, I don't. I say I love you. No. My wife's nicknamed the Badger. I wouldn't dare do that. I simply tell her I love her too, man.
So let me share my piece real quick.
Okay.
So my piece is, I feel like our world has minimized the value of the word love. And I feel like, for example, a lot of people just rattle off, I love you. And then the response to that is, I love you. And that's called ping pong in my world. And I'm not a ping pong. So I've adopted, and I use the words with you. And that's my thing. And sometimes I have to explain it to people. But when I see that you're hurting and I see you're not in a place, I say with you. And that's what I do.
I like it. So actually, Andrea's goes off of that, but I do like, I really like what you were saying, Mark. So a lot of times we don't quantify it. We just rattle it off. But so it's like saying, I love you to the moon and back. That quantifies it. It says, I love you this much. But so the song, and I was actually, I was at my girlfriend's whenever I wrote this. It actually didn't take me more than 5 minutes to write it, which always seems to be how like some of my best songs come out. But it goes, and keep in mind, I hate going a cappella, but we're going to do this. So the chorus goes like this. So it goes, so when you say I love you, well, I love you more than all the lonely nights. I love you more than all the silly fights. I love you more each moment than the last. I love you more. That's why I want us to last.
That's awesome.
That's going to be awesome. Yes.
It literally puts in just saying, hey, I know there's going to be so much crap we go through, but I love you more than all of it.
That's awesome, because it is. It's how hard would it be to recognize, I know I F up, I know you F up, and that's probably not, PG-13 for us, but I'm committing to get through that. I'm committing to have this conversation. It's like I apologize now for what we're going to see in the future, but it's having that contract of saying we're going to get through this no matter what.
Isn't it like past, present, and future though too, right?
Yeah.
I love you from who you are, what we are now together, and for what we will be. Love that. Well done.
What a special gift, only in the fact, and that I'm changing it, but sticking here with it. We've ran our hour course, and a lot of people sometimes like to hang with us, and a lot of people, I'm going to let you know. If you need to go, please go. If you'd like to continue to be part of this conversation and see what's going on and how we're doing it, continue to stay. We got one more song coming from Waylon. We're going to hear more from Dan about what he's going to be doing. We're going to reestablish what the mission of the People's Patriot Project is and what our plan is to go in the near future. And we just love you being here. We lock this in for an hour every week. And because this is not on prime time television, we get to say when we're done. And so we appreciate everyone that's around. And if you got to go. We will see you next time. Remember, we do our debrief every Friday at 3:30, telling you what the People's Patriot Project is doing. We got your six for the sake of sharing what other missions and boots on the ground organizations are doing across the country and what our amazing, gifted and talented musicians that just happen to be also veterans and first responders are doing. And just keep hanging on if you want to keep hanging on. If not, we'll see you later. Gosh, where to go next? We haven't done the news yet, Andrea.
No, we have not done the news. You're right. Okay, I will make it really quick. How's that?
Fair enough.
Hang on. I have to get back to the original version. So let me just tell you, today is Father's Day. Can I just throw that out there? We got you. Today's Father's Day. And I do want to give a little recognition to the Juneteenth. I haven't always understood everything about Juneteenth, but I saw an amazing story. I think it was on Good Morning America today about a family who used Ancestry.com to trace their roots back to their great-great-grandfather, their mom's great-great-grandfather, and they found relatives. And he was a slave until he was 29, if I remember right. And so then when he was released, he got his things in order, and so he had been sold separate from his family, and they're able to put it back together now. So that was kind of his dream come true 3 generations later. So I like those stories. That can be a real cool thing. So again, let's remember it's PTSD Awareness Month. All month, let's just keep track of, oh man, let's just do our 6 all the time, every day. And this week is the National Veterans Golden Age Games, and we're not there yet, but Peterson's pretty close. So the National Veterans Golden Age Games is a national multi-event sports competition designed to improve the health and quality of life of older veterans in the United States. The games are held annually, and veterans can participate regardless of their ability level. The VA hosts the National Veterans Golden Age Games as a rehabilitation event focused on the health and well-being of veterans who are 55 and older. And if he's smart, he will make 0 comments right now about age. The games promote the importance of exercise for older veterans and encourage athletes to continue participating in physical activity and athletic events in their home communities. So I did not. I should have gone to check and see what is going on, but I tell you what, when I was making these up, we got another crisis call, but I will tell you guys about that next week. And then on the 23rd, the Coast Guard Auxiliary Birthday. The armed forces are made up of active duty components supplemented by reserve forces, but there is non-military and unpaid civilian auxiliary that exists for 2 branches, the Air Force and the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard is considered military service, but not part of the Defense Department, which is an important distinction from the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marine Corps counterparts. The Coast Guard Auxiliary is, as mentioned above, an unpaid force of volunteers who perform duties similar to or in support of the regular Coast Guard. Legislation passed in the mid-1990s that authorized the auxiliary to support any Coast Guard missions that were not involving law enforcement or real-world military operations. Boom, got it.
Slam dunk.
Yes.
What was the reference on age? What was that?
Dude, 55. It's the golden age.
55 is? Okay.
Look at how golden we get closer and closer.
I can't believe you set it up and then I'm supposed to be quiet.
You can't say, or it's not polite to reveal a woman's age. So bite.
I didn't say it.
Aren't you?
What's that?
I said you're 28, though, aren't you?
Yeah. A couple of times I've celebrated that one.
Yeah.
I used to play that game of like, oh, it's the 3rd anniversary of my 29th birthday, and then that one, slips away. My oldest is 31, so I teach 7th and 8th graders, and they have a fun time guessing my age, and I eat that up every day. And then this year, like 8th graders got really smart, and one of the boys was like, wait, if you have a 31-year-old son, I'm like, okay, you can stop your thinking right there. Nobody thinks that through. So he pretty much nailed it right straight.
Tammy, you're awesome because you get to own it, and we're still struggling with getting there. And you ran right past it and just keep running, and we just don't have that energy. I think that's what it comes down to. Awesome. There's some good stuff in there. And Waylon, what's next for you, brother?
Music wise, or
share with what you want to share.
Honestly, I have no idea. And
well, if I can suggest, make sure you go try the Wagyu burger at Arby's because it's delicious. That's
gross.
I will have to try that. No, but like as for life, I don't know. I've had so many unexpected things happen recently that are good. I mean, yeah, just like anything good, it gets countered with some bad things here and there, and you just kind of roll with it. But I tell you what, instead of trying to control my life for once, I'm just rolling with it.
How awesome is that you can be in that position? And that's, I think we work so hard to plan the day in and day out, and and we're in a position where we kind of have to. I was the guy that used to coast and just say, yeah, life is good, life is good. I'd never check the weather. I never check the weather because I don't care what the weather's going to be, because regardless, I got to go outside. I got to do what I need to do, whether it's snowing, raining, or anything else. It doesn't matter. The weather doesn't matter. Now I got to kind of care sometimes.
Because you're crotchety. It's because you're a crotchety old guy.
I'm voting that Waylon has the most interesting job, because he just vividly described giving a shark a haircut. And that's not happening with me.
So outside of that, I teach online classes to kids around the world. Parents are always able to sign their kids up, and I teach marine biology to kids.
That's so cool.
I so love that.
Awesome.
Do you know I have 2 fears in life, and sharks are number 2? I'm sorry. Everywhere I swim in the lake, and all I can think of is product. I'm the product.
Share number 1 now too.
No.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to go with that.
How about this? It can go hand in hand when I'm. It goes hand in hand when I'm parasailing. Those fears collide. Huge.
Parasailing and sharks. That's where you're going to go.
So she's scared of Sharknado.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't hang out with Tammy. Tammy loves it. So
Tammy loves that. She's great.
But no, I'm just gonna keep pushing the music. Slowly try to find ways into the studio more often. Yeah, it's just slowly just trying to expand. I have an amazing manager that helps me out with things. It's just one thing after another. Sugar Rose, what is up?
She's trying to get in here.
And so it's just slowly pushing ahead, taking one day at a time.
Well, is there, and again, we usually save conversation like this for our post show where we have the discussion and collaboration, but is there anything we can do to help you get into the studio more?
Teach me how to crowdsource better.
Oh, we can take you along for that ride as we're learning. Yes.
Because every single time getting into the studio runs me $1,000. So like, you find me slowly pawning things in order to get into the studio.
We don't need to do that. This guy on the bottom with you, he's we're working on some stuff. We're
working out some stuff. That's where the whole, hey, I'm down. My in-laws live in the valley all winter, so we'll get this rig that we want to get, and we'll just pull right up in your driveway, and your girlfriend will be all mad at us because
she sings too.
Really?
Perfect.
Oh my. Okay, and I don't say this lightly. She can sing circles around me, and it's old country like Loretta Lynn style.
I love that.
Like, sing circles around me. I could not be prouder of her and the fact that she's starting her journey. I want to admit that to her, the fact that I think she can sing circles around me, but she can.
We would be like Cousin Eddie pulling up there and popping the old manhole cover up.
How awesome would that be to have this mobile unit actually, like on the outside, look like the RV from?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But on the inside, it's just a plush, just amazing thing.
Hide in plain sight. It would be
great. Absolutely. What the amazing piece here now is we are jigsawing this thing to death, and it is just I think this is going to happen. I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to happen. So Dan Hudson, what's next for you?
What's next for me? Who knows what's next for me? I was alluding to we're going to continue the songwriting stuff, but we're going to continue to collect material. We're going to continue to try and make music locally and give some of our national performers a pseudo polished product that they can massage into their own. Maybe work together with really reach out to our first responder crew. We have a lot of veterans, but the first responder's been a tough shell to crack in this world because that stigma, like you alluded to earlier, it's tough. So I've been doing a lot of public speaking. I've got about 7 dates lined up through 2023, and I'm pretty excited about that. And everybody's asking me if I'm going to write another book, and that is not going to happen. That is a lot more work than I had anticipated, but
that's a you decision piece. But if that's something you wanted to do, we would make sure. Maybe don't check it off the list yet. How's that?
How do you type, Mark?
Maybe
a good typer.
If we got people. Again.
It was actually I when I wrote that book, it was for me. I did it for myself. Just because, having PTSD and struggling with it, I was forgetting so much stuff and it terrified me. And I started writing it down. And it wasn't meant to be a legacy or anything like that. And trying to be humble, I just really didn't want. I really didn't want.
You're getting called out, brother.
Oh, stop. See, I'm being told what to do again.
Yeah.
I love her, man. She's my angel. She saved my life.
I love Angie too, but you told me that's your account, so I don't know if we're talking to you or your wife.
Well, it was. No, I said it was my account. I just let it go, man. I let it go.
Jeez, this guy, he's just all about him.
She saved my life. I mean, she truly is.
Amen, sister. Amen. I'm excited to meet your wife. Are you?
She's a wild one. I love her to death, and she drives me every day. She's been so supportive of this, and I've got all these guitars and all this music. Yes, you are the boss. And she supported every bit of it, so I'm very lucky. And she does not like to public speak. She likes to hide behind computers.
She's doing a good job here, and she can come do this all day long if she wants. If you're listening to the podcast right now, we have some of our guests are slipping in and saying some stories and some pieces about our guest, Mr. Hudson. His wife is here sharing. He's not done writing his book, and his story is far from being over. And I agree, but I don't get to say what other people do.
But he does. So, yeah.
So, Waylon, let's do your last song, brother.
I got to say one thing before you do. So there was a little bit of talk in our group and on the outskirts about being named Waylon and getting into music. And that's a name to live up to. I think you've done it. I wanted to say from what I've heard so far, good job. Good job. There's no challenges out there for you. You got it.
And I guess we're jumping the gun real quick because we should share that we are the beacon and opportunity for those who might need a little bit of help. We're also the opportunity for people that want to continue to serve or have a chance to serve and never had the chance to serve. We do have an event coming up in August 13th here in Minnesota on it's called the Ride to Remember. We do want to do a shout out because we have some of the greatest coming up to Minnesota. We'll get Waylon here in the near future, but we got Shannon Book and Deliberately Broken with Scotty Hastings and TJ Thompson. Yeah, thank you. JT. That's me.
It's okay. You're okay.
And the Gunslingers. An amazing event to help support local veterans here in the state of Minnesota. It is a Combat Veteran Motorcycle Association sanctioned ride. And so check out our webpage, check out our Facebook page, check out Ride to Remember and take care of that. And if you're in Minnesota, come be part of the fun. I know Dan's going to be coming and showing up there. Andrea, Tammy, The list is kind of long, and it'll be fun. Is Rachel
Jess?
on the line right now?
Jess is coming as well. No, I'm just calling her
Dan's?
out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rachel Felsky is one of the curators of the event. It'll be a good time I'm telling you right now, the best lineup in the state of Minnesota. You won't find a better lineup. And I'm telling you that. I mean, I will give you a, what do you call it? A refund if you come and you don't like these guys. Shannon Book is out of this world. Mr. Hastings is out of this world, and JT and the Gunslingers, just amazing.
They're amazing.
Artists.
They are an amazing group, JT and the Gunslingers. They do a version of Loretta that you will never forget.
Oh, yeah.
And the amazing pieces, we're showcasing these musicians because they're all veterans. That's why we do it. And they've done a little bit more, have a little bit more skin in the game, and they have had the chance to put their craft out there. So with that said, Waylon, tell us about your last song, brother.
So the last song I wrote because I knew what it felt like to lose my identity whenever I was medically discharged. Like, I knew what it felt like to be lost. I do enjoy a drink here and there. I do enjoy a nice Jack and Coke, but I moderate myself, and I actually will set a Dr. Pepper right next to me as just kind of a reminder. Because of the fact that whenever I got out for about 5 months, I was drinking about $2,000 worth of alcohol a month and just trying to self-sabotage myself because I didn't feel like I was worth anything anymore. I didn't know who I was supposed to be. It hit me. And so I put myself into that moment whenever I wrote that song. And even though I was stateside the entire time, it doesn't matter whether you're deployed overseas or you're stateside or what you are. Every military vet feels lost whenever they no longer call themselves a soldier. I mean, you're transitioning into a veterans, and it's difficult. And so I wrote, from my perspective, what that's like. And basically, it addresses the 22 a day.
Awesome. I mean,
yes.
It's not awesome because it exists, but we have Mr. Waylon McMullan with I've Got Your Six.
You may feel like you're all alone, like you can't come back home, that you are just too broken, and the walls, they're closing in, that there's only one way out. Listen to these words I say now. You're a soldier, you're a fighter, stand strong. You must battle these demons, no matter the cost. You've got people who love you, even when you don't think you do. 'Cause I've got your six, is what I'm telling you. $22 a day is 22 too much. So many are losing the ones that they love. They want you here instead of anywhere else. You may feel lost, but we're here to help. Your scars don't show, but they run deep. We can only imagine the secrets you have to keep. You're a soldier, you're a fighter. Stand strong. You must battle these demons, no matter the cost. You've got people who love you, even when you don't think you do. 'Cause I've got your six, is what I'm telling you. I know how tempting it may be to check out early and leave everything that you feel like a burden to all around. So you stay to yourself and you don't make a sound. But I'm telling you, these thoughts, they ain't true. You're loved, you're wanted, and we would miss you. 'Cause we are soldiers, we are fighters, we must stand strong. We must battle these demons, no matter the cost. 'Cause there's people who love us, even when we don't think they do. Remember, I've got your six, is what I'm telling you. Yeah, I've got your six, is what I'm telling you.
Left, your left, left, right, your left. You got it.
Truck it up.